What's happening, YouTube? This is John, nerding out with cards, and I'm doing another video response for vintage card collecting victories. Now, his channel, I started subscribing to, because he was doing some of the Strongsville videos. I'm sure some people, I don't know why, might be getting kind of tired of the whole Strongsville stuff. I think that's just like a hater mentality. Like, would I want to go? Yeah, sure, I want to go, but that's just not, the time and space that I operate in. I can't go. I'm not gonna go. Maybe at some point down the road, I might go. But anyway, that's how I learned of his channel. Right? He was doing, some videos on preparing for Strongsville, during Strongsville, and then his pickups. Really cool stuff. So then he initiated a video response, right? And so what are VRs for, right? They can help generate interest in a channel. It's incentivized by giving out cards, which he's doing, and I'm not interested in the cards that he's potentially giving away, and that's just because of my collection scope, right? But he was really cool. So part of the VR, you get entries and stuff like that. He's going to give them to somebody else that the cards could better fit their collections than they would mine, right? I'm a St. Louis guy through and through. However, I want to support his channel. And at the same time, it's like, these VRs are a super cool way to just talk about cards, right? And so one of the questions he asked was, what's your main collection focus? Y'all know it's Ozzy. Ozzy, right? But it's getting kind of hard to pick up cards I don't have of his. I just want to show off one particular card, and that's the first Dufex card of Ozzy. It's a Cooperstown card. They made about 1,000 of these. Very proud to own this. Oh man, look at that. Love it. Paid up to get this one, but a prized card in my collection. So, it's getting harder and harder to find Ozzie Smith cards I don't have. So, being that he's a vintage channel, I wanted to highlight vintage collecting scope that I have going on, and that's my Ken Boyer collection. And, like this 56 here, I got from Greg's dad, along with the 57, 59. Really cool cards. I got this All-Star card right here. 1960. Billy Ball game, you'll love that. And then I own a Playing Days Mickey Mantle card, thanks to Ken Boyer. Awesome stuff. You might have seen this from a pickup video. The 60 Leaf. Boom. Got an Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron, and Ernie Banks card. I'll deep dive more on Ken Boyer at some point in time. Yeah, I got a Roberto Clemente card. Shout out to Clemente Collector. Boom. 63, a phenomenal set. Look at that. Fleer card right there. Ooh, good stuff. Ken's MVP season, World Series season. Once again, another Hank Aaron card. And this is my favorite Ken Boyer card so far. 64 MVP World Series season. Stand up right there. Awesome stuff. Get another league leader card. Look at that. I got Willie Mays and Ron Santo. A couple more Hall of Famers. You know, it's funny. He's on all these league leader cards with Hall of Famers. I wonder if Ken Boyer should be a Hall of Famer. I don't know. Man, this is one of my favorite Ken Boyer cards right here. When he hit that grand slam in the 64 series. Yeah, that proved to be the game-winning hit of that game in a series that went 7 games. Huh. He's got the hardware. He's got the stats. And he's got the moments. Here's a really cool multiplayer card from the 75 set. You know, commemorating his 64 MVP. Along with Brooks Robinson. Another multiplayer card with a Hall of Famer that has Ken Boyer on it. I read an autobiography on him. And one of the things he really, really wanted to be was a manager. He did achieve that goal. However, it was short-lived. And then when he tried to get back into managing, that's when he became sick, which ultimately led to his premature death. But so I wanted a manager card of his. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And this action pack card, I found that at the same card show. I met Greg and his dad. I couldn't leave it there. You know, it's like $1, if that. I had to leave with it, you know. So, like I said, you know, vintage card collecting victories. He's predominantly a vintage collector. Great collection scope, right? So I wanted to highlight a collection that's vintage because, you know, Ozzy's not vintage except for that, you know, first 2 years. He also asked, what project are you trying to complete this year? And if you saw my last video, I achieved my goal, right? And I picked up the 53 Bowman Stan Musial. And so I have Stan's 48 Bowman to 63 flagship run. Yeah, with the exception of Leaf Card, but this is within the scope of the Bubblegum Card Wars, right? And so I'm going to do another video on Stan's cards, but you know, the 48 Bowman, 49 Bowman, 52 Bowman, 53, and then, you know, he has a gap without cards, and I know there's other cards that exist, right? But this is the Bowman Tops. That's where I'm at right now. 58 Tops, 59, and then there's that Thrills card. This is my first Playing Days musical card. I absolutely love this card. You know, for his 3,000th hit. 60 Tops. You saw that on one of my pickup videos. Again, shout out to Billy Ballgame. 61 Tops. That's a newer edition. 62 Tops. I bought this from Greg's dad. Love this card. This is a deployment edition. You know, the 62 Tops. Musial plays its 21st season. 63 Tops. I love this card. The centering, eye appeal, this is great. There's a surface wrinkle on it. But man, look at that. I got that for a steal of a deal when you consider what this looks like. And it's, in my opinion, his last Playing Days card. Absolutely phenomenal looking. Recent edition, League Leaders card. Again, at the same card show, I met Greg and his dad. I picked up this card, Pride of the NL. Man, that's... I have a Willie Mays card. Hot dog, you know what I mean? And then this one I also picked up at that show there in California. I just dig it, you know. Anchors away, you know. But so I actually completed what my goal was with this Musial run. Does that mean I'm done with Musial? No, no. Those Raleigh cards are sweet. The Red Heart card, super sweet. Wheaties cards, things like that. But I really wanted to complete that flagship run. And yeah, I want this. I want the 49 Leaf. Who doesn't? It's a great card. Although I do like the 48 Bowman more. That's just me. He asked, what's a new collection scope? That's why I call it scope. New collection you're starting. And now this is not vintage. I'm sorry. But if you saw in a previous video of mine, I wanted to collect Pat Maroon cards. Shout out to Shane at Shoebox Legends. You know, I picked up Patty's rookie card, or one of his rookie cards. I know Mangini loves that term. But yeah, this is the Young Guns rookie card, which is like the one to get. So, you know, he's the hometown hero, like I mentioned before, in a previous video. But I need better hockey representation in my collection. And that's a very fun way for me to do it. So that's the first three questions. The fourth question was, you know, shout out some channels, and I'll put all this in the description below. I'll put Shane down there below. I'll put Billy Ball Game down there, you know, because of the 60 set. But anyway, first one I want to shout out is Diamond Gems 45, fellow Cardinals fan. I'm a sucker for that. But he tells some really good stories with his cards, right? He does a video, you know, it's highlighting a team, a year, a player, and he's got, you know, he's lived. And you hear it through the cards, and I love that. Another channel I want to shout out, and it's kind of funny, right? Because when I had been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for maybe a couple years, and I was always like, oh, you know, I want my name to be something like Ozzie Smith theme or whatever. You know, what does everybody know? Go crazy, folks. Well, before I could start my channel, somebody else used the whole go crazy thing in his name. But, you know, it's awesome, right? Yeah, I got to pick my name that I think is more overarching fit. But anyway, go crazy card collecting. Again, with the stories. You know, he's got the cards that he got from his mom. You know, he lives in Arkansas, so he's highlighting those Arkansas players. You know, he's got that, was it the 64 or 65 Topps card game, and he plays it with his kids. But anyway, very enjoyable channel to watch. He's a lot like me too, you know, because he's targeting inexpensive cards. Really fun channel to watch. Highly recommend it. Guy that's been, you know, he's newer, you know, kind of like me. These next two are very new, just like me. You know, we're the FNGs of the YouTube card collecting community. And it's Jayhawker Vintage Cards. Really enjoy his channel. And at the same time, it's like, you know, with these new guys, it's like, it's exciting to see where they go with their channels, where I go with my channel, things like that. You know, it's really good stuff. And then the last, and this is like a boomerang shout out, is Rev Steve's Cards. You know, he did a video response just like I'm doing right now to the same VR, and he mentioned my channel, and I wanted to mention his channel, right? We, you know, it's like he said, we have communicated a little bit in the comments. He's doing his binder collection with the Hall of Fame players, and he talked about Ricky Henderson being his favorite player, doing combo cards and things like that. Um, it's funny because he started maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks before I did, and I think he went to Strongsville too. But he has less subscribers than I do, and that shouldn't be the case, right? I'm just this jackwagon talking about St. Louis cards and things like that, upsetting the president about rookie cards, and he's just showing some great cards. You know what I mean? So I think he needs more subscribers. Um, but anyway, vintage cards collecting victories. I don't know you too well. I'm much newer to your channel, but it's a really cool VR, right? We get to talk about what we collect, what our goals are. Um, shout out some channels and things like that. The last question he asked, and this is the hardest one for me to answer, is what card shows are you planning going into in the future? And I honestly don't know, man. I went to that card show last year in Fairfield, California. If it's going on while I'm there, I got a vehicle, I'll try to go to it. Um, I'll be in the St. Louis area again in June. Maybe if there's a card show going on in June. I don't know. Redneck Collector, you tell me. Um, are there card shows in the area going on in June? I it's just my life doesn't allow card shows to be a priority. Between my career, my family, travel, where am I going to be? When am I going to be there? Kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe in a couple years, I'll be more of a card show regular. I don't. I don't know, man. But thank you for the opportunity to do this VR, and I hope you all have a good one.